Hello guys, so my name is Anirudh Menon and I'm a third year medical student. So coming to the chemistry part, yes, something that was extremely difficult for me at all times was to actually balance an equation. And normally this is the method that is taught to us at school and at coaching classes normally, yeah, at a place where I live. Here in the coaching classes only this kind of a method is taught to us, hit and trial method. But the point is, the problem that I used to face this is not 100% reliable. So I used to hate this method like anything. Okay, this is not 100% reliable. When the equation becomes tougher, when the equation becomes more and more complicated, then you will not be solving, you will not be in a position to solve this with the help of hit and trial method. If you do that for a tough equation, it will be just like solving a very difficult Sudoku game. So yes, I had to search for some other method for solving equation, and one of my teachers had taught me this kind of an approach, and I just love this kind of a method. POAC, principle of atomic conservation, right? Principle of atomic conservation. So this is my favorite method to solve an equation because you are actually getting a mathematical approach for solving an equation. So if there is a good method to solve an equation, or there is a reliable method to solve an equation, so why should we ever go for hit and trial method in the board exams or even the entrance exams? In the entrance exam, with the help of the questions that are given, with respect to the questions that they give, we will have to try this hit and trial method there also. But if it is not working out, if you are running short of time, or I mean, yeah, if you feel that you will not be in a position to solve the question with the help of hit and trial method, go for POAC, right? Principle of atomic conservation. So let's explore this particular method, that is principle of atomic conservation, and let's understand how you are actually solving or balancing an equation with the help of principle of atomic conservation. Okay, so principle of atomic conservation states that the number of atoms, see the number of atoms, so we are not talking about any molecule, we are just talking about each and every single atoms on both sides of an equation. Okay, so the number of atoms of each element, right, on both sides of an equation are conserved. Okay, number of atoms of each element on both sides of an equation are conserved. Now how will I use this to solve an equation or balance an equation? So I just went through the topic of p block elements in class 12th NCERT, and I got this equation. Okay, NH3 ammonia plus oxygen gives nitric oxide plus H2O, right? NH3 plus O2 gives NO plus H2O. So this is the equation that I have just taken. Just took an arbitrary equation from your textbook and I'm just trying to solve this. So let's imagine that you are sitting in the board exam and you got a chance to write this equation as the answer. So you will have to balance this for getting the full marks, isn't it? So yeah, just because you don't have a good grip on, or you are not getting the answer with the help of a hit and trial method, doesn't mean that you should actually lose half marks over there. So let's try to get maximum marks as possible in any exam, right? So it's fun to get more marks, isn't it? So let's try to solve this equation, I mean balance this equation with the help of principle of atomic conservation. See, the first thing that you need to solve, the first thing that you need to do so as to solve an equation with the help of the principle of atomic conservation technique is to place coefficients for each of them. Okay, you are supposed to place coefficient for each of them. One of the coefficient should be 1. One of the coefficient should be 1. So let us say that I am selecting ammonia here and I am placing the coefficient as 1 here. Okay, I have fixed the coefficient of NH3 as 1. Now whatever I do, my coefficient of NH3 is fixed and that is 1. There is no change in that. Okay, now what I will do is I will just close my eyes and write ABC for everything that follows after this. There is an oxygen here, NO here, H2O here, whatever it is, I will place it as A, this will be B and this will be C. I don't have to care whichever is there on the left side, whichever is on the right side. I don't have to care which molecule it is. Once I fix 1 over there for any of the reactant or product, I will have to simply equate. I will have to simply place the coefficient of each of them as A, B and C, just like the way I have done it over here. The principle of atomic conservation states that the number of atoms of each element is the same on both sides. I will simply equate this. How will I equate this? Just watch what I am doing here. On the reactant side, on the left side of the equation, there is one nitrogen atom. Coefficient of ammonia is 1. So there is one nitrogen atom on the left side. On the right side, there is B nitrogen atoms. The number of nitrogen atoms in nitric oxide is 1. The number of nitrogen atoms in B molecules of nitric oxide will be B. So I will simply equate both of them. So 1 is equal to B. Here one nitrogen atom is present. Here B nitrogen atoms are present. Principle of atomic conservation. On both sides the number of atoms are constant. So first of all we got what is B. Very good. Now let us talk about hydrogen. Here there are, on the reactant side there are 3 hydrogen atoms. Here on the product side I have 2 C hydrogen atoms. So I will just equate this as 3 is equal to 2C, or this implies C is equal to 3 by 2. Okay. Now what is remaining? Oxygen is remaining. So this is 2A on the reactant side. 2A is there on the reactant side. On the product side there is B plus C. Right? There are 2A oxygen atoms. We don't consider molecules here. We are simply considering the atoms on both sides. So 2A is equal to B plus C. Right? Now we know B is equal to 1. This is equal to 1. So C is equal to, and C is 3 by 2, isn't it? So this is 3 by 2. So on this side you will get 5 by 2, and that is equal to A. So this implies A is equal to 5 by 4. So we got the answer for this question. So let's write this in the clearest way possible now. So this will be NH3 plus A is 5 by 4 oxygen gives B is actually NO plus 1 NO plus C is 3 by 2 H2O. That is all. Now if you want to make this into good form, what you can simply do is you can multiply throughout by 4. You can multiply throughout by 4. You will get 4 NH3 plus 5 oxygen gives 4 NO plus 6 H2O. So let us take up this question. So yeah, point is very simple. See, this can be even solved with the help of your hit and trial method very easily, but imagine that you are not getting this during the time of stress with the help of hit and trial method. Let us solve this by the mathematical approach or principle of atomic conservation. So what will I do? First of all, what I do is very simple. Here I will be placing 1. I will have to fix one of the coefficient as 1. Now I will just simply place the other coefficient as A, B and C. Now simply equate the number of atoms. On the LHS, on the left hand side I have 1 copper atom. On the right hand side I have 3 copper atoms, isn't it? 3 B copper atoms. So that's one of my equations. Or this implies B is equal to 1 by 3, isn't it? So we got one of the coefficients now. Another atom is sulfur here. So there is 1 sulfur atom on the left hand side, but here I have C sulfur atoms. So that means I have got another one very directly, isn't it? Now what is left here? I have this oxygen atoms over here. So 4 oxygen atoms on the left hand side. So here I have again 4 C oxygen atoms. Yeah, from this again I am getting C is equal to 1. Right, let it be there. Now coming to this part, A phosphorus atoms are there. A is equal to 2B. Or this implies A is equal to B is equal to 1 by 3, isn't it? This is 2 by 3 then. Right? Okay, fine. Now there are 3A hydrogen atoms here. 3A hydrogen atoms, and here you have 2C hydrogen atoms. Right. So from here what is C then? C is 1. Yeah, C is again 1. What am I left with? I got A, B and C. What am I left with? Nothing else, isn't it? So this is copper sulfate plus, in place of A I will be substituting 2 by 3 PH3 gives B is equal to 1 by 3 Cu3P2 plus H2SO4, that is C. C is 1, H2SO4. Now to make it into a good form, what I will simply do is I will simply multiply this throughout by 3. So if I multiply this by 3, this will be 3 CuSO4. Now I will be getting 6 here, isn't it? I mean 2 by 3, isn't it? So A is 2 by 3. So yeah, 2 PH3 will be the answer. Here 2 is the answer here. Now here if I multiply by 3, I will get it as 1 Cu3P2 and here 3H2SO4. So did you like this particular method? So my intention was actually to give you a more reliable mathematical approach for balancing equations. See, if this is an ionic equation, you have a very good method for solving that. No matter whichever ionic equation it is, you will be solving this by the ionic equation form, which is very standard, and that is a very reliable approach. You will get the answer in 99% cases. But for this kind of a normal equation in inorganic chemistry, when you try to solve this, I used to find this as very difficult method. See, you cannot rely on hit and trial method for every equation. When the equation becomes more difficult, you may not get that particular answer with the help of hit and trial method. And normally, the teachers at school will definitely ask us to remember the coefficient of each and every equations that are there in the textbook, so that we get 100% marks in the board exams. But by this particular method, you can solve any question in the board exam. You have enough and adequate time which is there in the board exam. If you are somebody who is preparing very well for the entrance exam, I know how much time you will take to solve a question in the board exam. It will be very much convenient for you to solve these kind of questions, or to balance an equation with the help of the method I have told you in the board exam. In the entrance exam, even if it is not working out with the hit and trial method, you can simply use this kind of a method to solve each question, right? Yeah, so that is all in this particular video. So if you like this, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to receive notification whenever I upload a new video on YouTube, right? Thank you.